Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. Today, we're talking about feminine power in relationships and how to lead by following. Welcome in. Let us know where you're tuning in from. So, today's work that I'm sharing is sort of a extension and continuing of the work that I have shared in my Conscious Couples Intelligent Love Intensive. So I have linked that in the description box for you guys that want to dive in deep into this work. So let's begin by talking about who this work will not serve, what I'm about to share with you, why it may not work for everyone. So oftentimes people will say things like, well, if I do this, like, how does this work in situations of abuse, right? Or how does it work in narcissistic relationships? It doesn't. It doesn't, because abusive relationships are not meant to work, right? Just like you wouldn't go to a dentist to get heart surgery or brain surgery, you don't go to a life coach to report a crime. So abuse, at least in the country that I live in, that's illegal. It's a crime. And so you have to get outside help for that, get healthy, and then come back for this deeper level work. This is really, really deep work. This work will also not work in situations where it's a marriage of convenience or a relationship of convenience, because this is deep work in which you are co-signing into a conscious relationship. You want to have a long-term, forever, deep, intimate relationship with someone, romance with someone. So this is going to take you showing your soul, showing your heart. And you're not really going to be able to do that when you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? So that's kind of like my disclaimer. And so let's talk about this. So in modern day relationships, gender isn't as important as energy is, as consciousness is, right? So when I refer to the feminine or the masculine, divine feminine, divine masculine, it's beyond gender. Yes, if you're a woman, there's a 90% chance, 90% of women on the planet right now are feminine energy essence by nature. And then there's about 10 that aren't, 10%. And if you're a man, about 90% of males on the planet right now are, their natural essence is masculine. And then there's 10 that there aren't. But when I refer to the masculine or feminine, try to expand your mind beyond just the gender, because this is literally a dance that modern humans play in a relationship. There are times in my relationship where I am holding the masculine pole and my husband's holding the feminine pole, because that is what is required in that moment. This is about, I would say, 10 to 15% of my relationship. I talk about this in the Conscious Couples Intensive. There are also times where we are, very, very polarized. I'm in the feminine and he's in the masculine, and that's where all the magic happens. And then there's times where he's in his masculine and I'm in my masculine, because that's what co-parenting and householding requires in that moment. So conscious relationships are this fluid dance of switching between masculine and feminine energies. And this is very intentional. It's a very conscious, so that you can use the appropriate energy in that moment. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. So just like you have a wardrobe, and I'm sure in your wardrobe you have, swimsuits and ball gowns and summery dresses and winter jackets. Some are appropriate in certain situations and not so much in other situations. So that's really what this feminine energy, masculine energy dance is about, using consciously the appropriate energy that is required in the relationship in this moment. And then it may change in the next moment. So your feminine power in your relationship comes from you being true to your natural essence. So underneath all the programming, underneath the program, underneath the habitual ways of being, underneath the stuck emotions and the trauma and all of that stuff, underneath that, what is your true essence? And so if you fall in that 90% of the women that are naturally in their feminine essence, 90%, then that's going to be your feminine power, right? Your feminine essence. And how I bring that in my relationship is that I desire to be penetrated and loved and witnessed by the masculine, by my masculine power, by my masculine partner. And the masculine requires surrender. And so I surrender to his leadership, but I am his feminine oracle. What does that mean? For those of you guys that don't know, look up that word. It's such a beautiful definition. Does anyone want to look up what the word oracle means? Just Google it and put it in the chat right now. It's so beautiful. So I am fully surrendered to his leadership. My consciousness is. Programs often have a hard time surrendering, but my consciousness and my energy is surrendered. And he is continuously receiving guidance from my heart. This is already sounding so juicy. I'm so glad. Thank you, Evelyn. Hello from Mexico. We've got a lot of new subscribers coming in from Mexico. Welcome, welcome. And for those of you guys that need subtitles, I have been posting this little 2-minute video on my community tab. You can open up subtitles on my channel in tons and tons of languages. That feature only works on desktop and on TV and on laptop. It does not work on your mobile. So you can have Spanish subtitles, Hindi subtitles, I think Japanese, Chinese, like German, French, all types of subtitles. So if you need that, then you can turn that on. So I am his feminine oracle. And that means that I am at any given moment taking a temperature of the energy, of the love that's flowing, and reflecting that back to him. But this cannot be done from the program. What the program says is, this is my love language, touch me this way, feed me, I'm needy, I can't survive without you. It's all about survival. It's all about manipulation. It's all about how can I survive? That's the program, right? That's the conditioning. That's not the feminine oracle. The conditioning, the program tries to control his behavior for its own survival, because of its own trauma, because of its own needs, like needy needs, not like true heart needs. Okay? So the program says, it mimics the heart, but it pretends. This is why feeling statements don't always work with unconscious women. Because if a woman comes to feminine energy work, she's like, oh, I got it. I just have to speak in feeling statements. And then she goes in front of her man, and she's not very self-aware, and she says, I feel you should stop talking to your parents because it's not good for our relationship. Well, how does that serve his leadership and his consciousness and the love flowing between you for him to disown his parents? Right? It doesn't. That's just the program saying, I need to be priority, let go of everything else because I'm scared that I'm going to die if you don't. Because I'm triggered, right? So the program is not the oracle. The program is all kinds of crazy. You guys know what it does in the chatter all the time. The questioning, the constant thoughts, the monkey mind. That's not the oracle.